Welcome back to another episode, 15 Good Minutes. Coach B here. Charles, how are you, guy?
I am wonderfully excellent.
I like that. We're back to normal with Charles. Freddie, what's happening, buddy? How you doing, man?
Another day down, tomorrow's another day up.
Those are always good. Uh LB's out today, so we can get right to it. What I want to do today, right, because it's by the time you watch or listen to this, it should be May. We're at the last week of April. And as we start to get into warmer climates in the summer, I wanted to talk about whether or not it's expensive to go out to a live sporting event. Now, there's some that are happening in the summer that we're going to talk about, but we're also going to talk about the ones that just ended. So basketball, football, etc. The question is for a couple or a family of four, can you still go to live sports for a decent for a decent cost without without breaking the bank? So we're going to look at a few things, and I'll start off with baseball because I like baseball, and there's a lot of good opportunities. Now I will say this, Charles,
Mhm.
and this goes for you too, Freddie. I think what I found in doing the research this week was the information that I got back has a lot to do with the area that I'm talking about. So just so everybody's aware, I'm in Northern Virginia, just south of Washington, D.C. So there are a lot of sporting opportunities. So the numbers that I give you are only representative for this area, and it may be different if you're in a different part of the country. So having said that, I looked at two things, Charles, where it came to baseball. So when I went to visit the Nats site and get that information,
Mhm.
the average cost of a Washington Nationals game, non-playoff time on a weekday, for really good seats. When I say really good seats, I mean, mid bowl, 27 to 86 bucks. Um, Lower level, you can get for $125. Now, this is a piece, but also here in DC, they have specials. They have $5 Tuesday, where all the food at the concessions is $5. They have military discounts, which are significant. And in this area, there are just a ton of vets and military people.
Yeah.
So it's quite inexpensive. They also have student discounts. And if you're familiar with this area, I don't know, they've got to be 7 to 10 colleges, if not more. And here's the thing, you don't have to be going to a local college. If you're a member of, Strayer or what is it, Phoenix in Arizona, all you got to do is show a student ID or a .edu email address, and you can get a significant discount there as well. So on average, and again, when I'm looking at this kind of thing, fellas, I I can't do nosebleed. So I'm just going to put that out there right now. Any number that I give you guys today, I can't go to the section up in that stadium where the flag is whipping and hitting you in the back of the head. If you can't hear the crack of the bat, or then you're too far away. I think at that level, at least for me where I am, I would rather watch the game on television. Secondly, I would say that we have a single A baseball team in this area called the Fred Nats. There's only a lower bowl there. Charles, you've been here. It's an
Very nice.
amazing stadium if you just
Very
want to go
nice.
watch good baseball at single A. You're sitting on the third base line for $16. I mean, it's amazing. It's available. It's a great place for kids. They do a lot of free kids activities pre and post game. Kids get to run the bases, etc. So I'm not going to get into to basketball yet. I just did baseball. I'm going to go to Charles because you're covering some summer things like tennis or golf. So when we talk about those, is it expensive to go to a match?
Again, you hit it right on the head. It depending where you're at, right? DC has the city DC Open, and it's not that bad, right? But unfortunately, I couldn't find out what the suites cost, right? Because one, they were all sold out.
Wow, really?
Yes, they have 31 indoor suites that holds about 20 people in each suite, right? And they're all air conditioned, food is included, right? So, but I couldn't give you an estimate of how much it costs. But for just the ground tickets, it's anywhere from 75 to 300 and to $300. And in tennis, in tennis, they have sessions, what they call sessions, right? At the majors, they have a daytime and nighttime session, but at mostly all other tournaments, it's just an all day session, right? So those tickets are for all day, right? Now it's that facility, which is in, where is it at? It's in Rock Creek Park in DC. I've never been there.
It's really
Right.
nice.
But I looked at the map,
Yeah.
and the map was, I mean, the facility is a really nice facility. It holds 71,000 people, which is pretty impressive, right? For
7,100 people.
7,100. Yep,
Yeah,
7,100.
that was
I said, I
71,000.
said 7,100,
You
right?
talk about a lot of people. Yeah,
7,100 around the whole court,
yeah,
around the whole facility. But they don't have a lot of courts, right? We're talking
that's
about
true. That's true.
7 to 8 courts that they have on the outside, and about 6 to 7 practice courts that they have, right? So the number of people that enter into this tournament, 34, I think 30 for the men and 20 for the women, right? And the tournament is only a 1 week tournament. I was surprised at how old this tournament is. Tournament is like, it started in 69 with
Because
just
it's
men.
it's changed names over the years,
Right. It
right? When
changed
I
name
used
over
to
the
go, it was
years.
called the American Express something
Yes.
or another. But yeah,
Yes. Yeah. So, but it started in 69, but it was only a men's tournament. And in 2011, it went to a men women tournament.
okay.
Right. And for our audience that are kind of familiar with tennis, right? Tennis has different levels of tournaments. This is a 500. And then you have your 1000s, and then you have your Grand Slams, right? Then you have your lower tournaments, 100, 250, right? You have those also too. But most of your pros are playing at the 500. Uh, your pros that are ranked high are playing at the 500 and 1000. All right. So this is it. Like I said, this is it's a very nice tournament. Um, some of the things they do have a qualifying round. It's 2 days, right? And out of that qualifier, you get 4 qualifiers out of 20 people that enter. And then they also have wild cards that they give to people in the tournament also too. But it's like I said, it's a very nice venue, right? It's a really nice outing to go out and actually see tennis. You're going to see some really good players. Coco Golf is one of the players a lot of people know. She's won the tournament in the past, right? So, and uh, Nadal has won the tournament in the bad past, right? So they have some famous people that actually come there and actually come to this 500 tournament. For food is a little bit pricey, right? You can end up spending $60 plus on a main meal. For
Oh,
drinks,
I'm
$10,
sure. I'm sure.
$10 plus. And we just talking about soft drink. We're not talking about wine and stuff like that, right? But overall, right, it's going to be a really nice experience. Me and Rusty, we've been to the U.S. Open a couple of times, right? This venue is kind of set up the same way as the U.S. Open, but on a much smaller scale, So pretty nice. So that's for tennis. Now
Now,
golf.
well, before I get to golf, I'm going to pivot to Freddie, but I want to say something. I'm going to come back to golf. What Charles is talking about, and this is key here, is top 50 players are at this tournament. 7,000 seats. There really isn't a bad seat
It's not a
there.
bad seat in the house yet.
So for $100 a person, to his point, for an all-day event with multiple sessions, if you're familiar with tennis, it's a great value and a great way to see a pro at the level that Charles is talking about. Because if you wait to the 1,000 events, obviously, because of the degree of competition, the cost is going to go up. So the focus for today is being able to go to see a pro event, and still have some money left in your pocket.
And you will,
Um,
and in this, you're gonna have some money left in your pocket, and then you'll get, as Rusty has said, right? You'll get to see some really top players, and you'll get them seeing up close and personal,
yeah.
right? One, and I think that if Rusty, I know Rusty remembers, right? One of the ways that we really got to see a lot of the top players, right, was go to the practice courts.
Yeah.
Go to the
Wide open.
practice courts,
Yeah.
and normally, depending on the player, those practice courts can be packed, right? And you get to see them, right? Get to see how they train, stuff like that, right? And this is just for just tennis players, right? For tennis players, right, that are really into this, right? Beautiful park and very, very, very good price for a tennis tournament.
I agree. I agree. Freddie, you're in Texas, obviously, one of the what I would consider top 3 or 4 states for football at every level. So talk to us. I know the football season is over, but um, when you look at a team that like in your area that has the notoriety that they do, one, can an average Joe go to a game? And if so, how much would I have to expect to spend for that?
It is so subjective. What's a lot to me may not be a lot to you, right? And vice
Give me
versa.
a number. I'll tell you if it's a lot, buddy.
Well, so you have people who are really like the sport, and then you have people who are just want to post something on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, right?
Yep.
So that's why I say it's so subjective. For example, the Dallas Cowboys, unfortunately, I have never spent my money to go to a Dallas Cowboy game. Tickets from the higher up levels, they range from about $250 to about 300. That's in the upper levels, right? But it also depends on who's the opponent, right? It depends on if it's a division opponent, it shifts. Divisional games is they averaged at 293 for the upper levels, 293. So that's roughly three per person,
Yeah.
right? And so if you two people, that's $600.
I couldn't just say I want to see a non-divisional game on a regular Sunday in the middle of the season and get an average number there.
Seven ten. 710 is the average.
That
710.
that seems
Um,
high. I just assume $100 concessions per person, no matter the event. Now, some events, the reason it's going to be longer is Charles's event easily could be 5 6 hours. We've done it. So over the course of that, you're going to eat twice. NFL game, Freddie, what are we looking at? Like 3 hours, maybe five if you think about before and after, and you start getting into whether you tailgating or not. I'm not considering that. But a baseball game now with being able to challenge the pitch and all and the pitch clock, etc., is usually over at about 2 hours and 40 minutes start to finish. And so you can have a no fooling meal either at Nat Stadium or one of these other local ones, even up if you go up the road to see the Orioles for $100 a person. Let me ask you this, Freddie: is the cost similar in your region to attend a college game?
Texas versus Ohio State, right? For this upcoming season, the upper level for Texas versus Ohio State is $700. That's upper level. Middle, the lower middle level, and I think a lot of it depends on is based upon how the stadium is designed for the University of Texas. They range from anywhere from 1150 to 2100, right? And that's against Ohio State. The second data point was the University of Texas at home versus UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio. Upper level is 310
Exactly.
compared to the middle lower level 550 to 1200,
So the
right?
opponent, the
It's just
opponent matters. Yeah, yeah.
right.
Right. So if I just wanted the experience of seeing a college game, and I'm going to that one, the second one, right? And I get it. But the reason I say that is if you're a no fooling, Texas or Ohio State fan, you all up for paying whatever it takes anyway. You up for the travel. I get all that. I'm just looking for like entry level. We're trying to get to a game. Um, Summertime is also has golf, Charles, and so is it golf's kind of different, in terms of what you can do
It,
and what you
it,
can
it is.
see? What do
It's
you have in your
amazing.
area and how much does it cost?
Okay, so it's amazing how different golf is, right? Congressional, right? The tickets there are anywhere from at it's been a while since they played something at Congressional, right? And I think
Last
Tiger had
year,
that tournament. Yeah, Tiger did it.
Yeah.
but it wasn't Tiger Tournament anymore.
No, 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 no. Yeah, I'm saying last year
Yeah.
the
So
BMW was here,
the tickets were anywhere from 60 to, $200.
with no
Right.
lottery, right? You could
No,
just
no
purchase
lottery.
them.
No lottery. You can get in, right? Obviously, a lot of the top players are there,
Some things are just going to cost you more money based on what they are. That's
depending
why I
on where
want to
you're
stay away
going.
from the Masters or in tennis, the US Open.
Yes.
Trying to find a place where you can go see that sport played at the highest level. Like even in your area, they're doing the Corn Ferry Championship there
Right.
this year.
The Corn
And
Ferry is it's very and the Corn Ferry is very reasonable. It's a very reasonable. You can get tickets from $60 to $70, right? That's semi-pro,
yeah,
right?
well, they're trying to get their tour cards, right? I
They're
mean,
trying to
that's
get the
that's
tour cards, right?
yeah.
And so basically, you're not gonna have holes that are set up, right? That
With
people are in the stands and
yeah,
stuff. So it's just usually just normal ground passes, right? And then the food. The food is basically still anywhere you can spend anywhere from $40 to $80 in food there. Try to find a deal, right? American Express always have deals and stuff like. Try to find a deal to try to get in a lot of these certain uh, sporting events instead of going to StubHub and all these different places to try to get tickets.
100%. I think that's a great point. There are deals everywhere. In some cases, your job may have them. In other cases, to be something that's going on, regionally for you. And I think if you seek it out, the other thing I would say is this, and it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but in certain instances, like the one that Freddie mentioned, if you're willing to wait till just before game time, you can score some really good prices, at the last minute because people, to your point, Charles, on StubHub have got them listed for sale and no one's coming, nobody's buying. So you can do that very quickly on your phone and you can get in. Obviously the risk is that you have to be willing to do that. But there are people that I found out in just doing this research, that's the only way they go to games because they're always going to get lower bowl seating. They're going to get good seats and someone is willing to sell them. So it's I would think, and tell me if you think I'm missing it, you could still you guys both agree that you could still go see pro sports at a reasonable price live.
If you get not on a consistent basis, no. Maybe twice a year, right? Depending on what your sport is, right? But not on a consistent basis because it's pretty expensive.
If you got a bitch and complain about it, stay at home and watch it on television.
Well, there
That's
you
how I
go.
look at it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or you can find, like I say, I didn't talk about, but like locally, you want to see major, not major, I'm sorry, but mid-major D1 college basketball, you can go to George Mason, floor seats, $22.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, again, it really depends on, are you into Freddie's point, and I've seen this. I've gone, most I see it at Nationals games. The number of times I see people in front of me or around me that can't even spell baseball. I don't even know how they got in there. The whole time they're talking, taking pictures, posting, they're not there for the game. So
Exactly.
I separate them from this conversation, but I'm just saying, like to your point, Charles, if I know right now going into May that I want to see the Nationals, I've got the entirety of the summer to find a game. I could find a nice Tuesday game at 1 o'clock for next to nothing, get really good seats and see pro ball.
Right.
So I'm hoping that it doesn't change. I think to your point though, Charles, you really have to look at the options, plan it out, and know what you want to go see.
So when you and Freddie go to a North Carolina game,
Yeah.
right? How much y'all paying for tickets?
I don't think it was expensive. Not, I mean, one, we're both fans. It was more expensive for Freddie. I mean, listen, he flew here to ride with me to Carolina, right? We had hotel costs, food, etc. But the ticket cost, I got him so far in advance that I think our actual ticket cost was pretty good for where we were sitting, right?
It didn't. It really doesn't matter. When I went to the Buccaneers playoff game against Washington, not last year, but the year before,
Yeah.
the tickets club level, it was 900 a piece, and I'm flying from Dallas. Guess what? I didn't blink twice, right? Because I wanted to go to that game. So guess what? Now I gotta get the tickets. Cool, got the tickets. You know, guess what? Gotta get 2 first class tickets because I ain't flying in the
Yeah.
back, right? Then you got to get a hotel, right? Then you got to get a rental car. Then you get
Let me say this, Charles. What he's talking about is not what going to a UNC game was,
Yes.
was like.
Freddie, I'm staying at home. I'm staying at home.
So that's why I live with the point. It's subjective because if you really want to see that game, that event, or whatever the case may be, me personally, I just feel if I'm really that interested in whatever it is, if I'm really that interested and I
Money's
want to
not an
see it
object.
live,
Money's not an object.
money is not going to be an
But
option. I'm
I'll
not.
also say this too, though, Freddie. For people like you who are really that interested, you know how to plan it out. You know well in advance what you're doing. Charles and I went to the U.S. Open multiple times. It's not cheap, but we were so far in advance of the planning that we could get deals. Whether it was on one time, I think we flew for $80, eighty
Yeah.
bucks,
Yeah.
to get the
It one
so.
person. One person.
That was not first class. But
Yeah.
hey,
No, no,
listen,
no,
listen.
no.
The flight, Freddie, was all of 50 minutes to
Yes.
New York.
Oh, okay.
So
Got it.
so
I
right.
wasn't flying
So
first class
I,
for
I think there's a lot to be said. For example, we were going every 3 years. So the year before it even started, we started booking our stuff. That's
Right.
what I mean by planning it out. If you wait till the end, and to his point, we had no idea who we would see, but we saw everybody. I mean, everybody. We saw people that weren't that famous then that are, really famous today. So if you're willing to do your homework, and that's part of the thing, I believe, um, pretty much no matter your sport of preference, that there, to Freddie's point, there's certain things you got to do. But yes, you can go and see those teams live. And I believe that in most cases, there's nothing like seeing live sports. I struggle with seeing NFL live because I do prefer seeing that on television for all the angles and the coverage and stuff. But tennis, golf, basketball, and baseball, I really like to be there. So yeah, hopefully you guys get out there this summer and go see something live. See what that experience is like. Before we get out of here, let me see what the guys have to say. Charles, what you got to say, man?
You know what? I found out something interesting this week. One of my favorite bands, Pink Floyd, right? The origination of them, right? They really like blues, right? And one of their first concerts, they used to be called T-Set, and they went to the concert and they found out that another band there was called T-Set. All right, so they had to on the fly change their name, and they changed their name to Pink Floyd, and it was after uh,
Albums.
two blues guys that actually that they follow and that they were
Hmm.
inspired to do. The guys were what's his name? Pink Anderson and Floyd Council, right? And they named their band Pink Floyd, right? So that was pretty interesting when I found it out this week. So
That is, I learned a lot of things there, Freddie. One, that he's a Pink Floyd fan.
I'm a Pink
Fan,
Floyd.
good for you. And two, that's how they got their name. I appreciate that, man. That's well done. Freddie, how about you, man? What you got to say?
After hearing that, I don't think I could say anything that's going to top that this week.
I definitely can. He went deep into the well to educate the team today. I just want you to know, Charles, you have just put the bar here. So don't come back with nothing like here next week. No bars here. Me and Freddie, LB, we can hang. No, you going deep there. So yeah, good stuff indeed. Glad you guys take the time to rock with the team. Look forward to seeing you guys next week. Have a great weekend. We're out.